What's going on, Dreambringers, and welcome back to DB3 MTG. I'm Mr. Salmon, and today we are doing a tournament report. Now, I didn't have the best weekend overall, but it still was a great experience, and it's good testing for the Spotlight Series event that's going on in Indianapolis at the end of the month, and RCQs that we have in the Missouri area coming up in the next couple of months. One, I think, next weekend, and then I think some in June or whatever. So just wanted to talk about those things and my experience at SCG Con Minneapolis and talk about some of the matches. If you guys like this kind of content, obviously, hopefully I can do another one of these where I do well. But if you like it, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you guys like it. But yeah, other than that, yeah, we're going to get into the games. Okay, so when I went to SCG Con, I had a couple decks in mind. One of the decks that I wanted to play for sure was going to be four-color mid-range, my four-color mid-range pile, the Rashasha's Bargain deck that you guys have seen on the channel. And it looks like this, as you guys can see. You can pause it anytime you want to, and kind of see the card selection. As you can see here, if you paid attention to the last video that we had this on, I believe this was a Questing Druid, changes to a second Kaido, and then this was a Stone Rain that we did play in a side event on Saturday, but we changed this to a Dampening Sphere to kind of combo with Obsidian Charmal against the big mana decks. I also wanted to try out Eldrazi Tron, which you guys haven't seen yet, but there is a league coming out probably either tomorrow or Wednesday, where I 5-0 on my buddy Charlie's list. This is this exact list. I copied the 75 and played it. And we'll talk about the thoughts on that deck. And then one more deck I considered playing in the main, the 5K, would be my Grixis Delver, Grixis Murktide deck that I absolutely love, and I think the world of. Like I said, you could pause if you wanted to see the deck list. And I might have made changes here and there, but that was going to be pretty much it. So on the first Modern event that was like 3 rounds or whatever, I played this deck right here, and we went 2-1, getting 2 match wins with 1 loss. I played Eldrazi, Red-Green Eldrazi twice. The first matchup, I think the guy was a little bit inexperienced with Eldrazi. I believe I won in 3 games. Yeah, I won in 3 games. But I think I got kind of lucky in that one. But there was an interesting line where he cast Kozilek's command to eat my graveyard into Scry, and he said he messed up his Scries and put, I think, the land on the bottom when he needed the land for the Devourer to cast it, and I think he just kind of messed up there. But he should have just Scryed and made mana. I wasn't going to cast a Murktide there, and like it didn't really affect Frog or nothing. Like him removing the graveyard didn't really matter. So him making mana and then getting his best card on top of his library would have been better. So I was able to steal a game that way. I'm pretty sure he's got him with Murktides and Frogs. The second Eldrazi match went 3 games. I believe I lost game 1. Game 2, he had banger after banger after banger, but I just had counterspell after counterspell after counterspell. And in game 3, I just didn't really see anything that mattered in that game, and he was able to kind of do his thing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he was on the red-green version, so he had like that red-green card. I can't think what the card's called, that makes tokens when it comes into play. He even had Sire of 7 Deaths in his deck. Yeah, deck was pretty tough to deal with, and he wanted to get me. But the last match, and shout out to this guy, I forget your name, but he saw me on Sunday and he spoke. I think he's from Wisconsin area. He was an awesome dude, but if you're seeing this, shout out to you, bro. I'm sorry I forgot your name, but he was playing Lutri. He had a serialized Lutri. It was so dope. And we played, and the funny thing is, in the first round, I sat next to him and I saw that he had Blood Moon, or he had a Magus of the Moon in play. I'm like, crap, this deck is extremely greedy. As you can see in the mana base, yeah, with the mana base, it was like, yeah, I cannot allow him to get that. And again, I had Stone Rain in here during these matches too, as well. Just keep that in mind. So yeah, I think I won 2-0. Yeah, I think I won 2-0, and essentially what it came down to, was that, and we talked about it later on Sunday, was that he struggles against these frog type decks because I have four of them. He only has one copy of a card, and so we're able to just outgrind him and just get so much advantage. And I think Kaido even made an appearance here with Bowmaster at the end step and then untap, get Kaido in, and it's just like Kaido's so unbeatable. But yeah, it was really cool match because like anything could have happened. He had so many cards, and there was a time where he passed a turn and had Terminate up. It was like hoping that didn't have Spell Snare. But the reason why I'm talking about these games is because they kind of gave me a sense of where the deck was. I didn't get to play against a lot of aggro decks in that, but I did like that I was 1-1 against Tron and against Lucha, which is kind of random. We're able to handle that deck pretty well. So that was just a regular Modern event for tickets. And then the next one I played in was the Modern Plus event, which was with this list. And it did not go so well. So we played against Amulet Titan. We played against Blue White Control, who that guy was a cool guy, and I saw him in the 5K. And then we played against Blue Red Wizards. The Amulet game was nuts. Somehow I won. I won game one. He just kept like a medium hand. I was able to do my thing. Game two, he kind of just, it was still kind of a slower hand, but he was able to get across the line. And then game three was wild because it went to turns and I won in turns. I basically stonebrained his Titans, and I stonebrained the bear card that is toughness and power equal to the number of lands you have in play. And when it comes into play, there's oh no, sorry, I didn't actually take that card, I don't think. Oh yeah, I did. I'm sorry, yes I did. But it was after the fact he played. I'm sorry, I gotta rewind a little bit. But yeah, so there was a couple interesting plays. First of all, I had Mystic Forge in play. I had Fleshraker in play. I had Karn in play for a while, so I was able to get the Stonebrain and stuff like that. And there was a funny line because I had Karn, I down-ticked Karn, and he had a Dryad in play, and I got Sundering Titan because if I drew the land off the top, I'd have had 8 mana to cast the. It didn't matter if it was a single land or a double land. I would have had 8 mana to play the Sundering Titan and kill all of his lands, which would have been insane. But I wound up drawing Devour, and Devour killed it anyway. And like I said, it was kind of a grind fest. I was attacking, but they were blocking and creating copies of I can't think of the O3 name. I'm blanking on cards right now. I just got back late last night, but the O3 that makes you play a land or lets you play a land, an extra land. They were doing enough to stay survive, but there was a cool turn where they get the Lumra, I think it's called, and with the trigger on a stack for them to mill, I killed their Lumra with a Dismember that I just drew up the top. I was kind of controlling my top of my deck with Mystic Forge, being able to get rid of lands that I didn't need and just get good cards and like be able to do points of damage. Like I played a bunch of Thought Knot Seers. I had a Devourer in play. They were chomping it up, but I was still chipping in damage and try to kind of go infinite with the Mystic Forge. And then I guess they had to kind of peel and get lucky, but they didn't have enough. They told me they didn't have enough mana to copy the Lumra with Mirror Pool or whatever. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. It was a weird situation, but they told me their out was to get Analysts and be able to go off and make infinite Analysts and kill all my lands and stuff like that. But I guess they didn't find it. So I won in that turn, which was awesome. But then it went downhill very quickly. I played against Control, and quite frankly, the dude just counterspelled me out of the game and Days Undoing me and Orm Shanted me out of the game, game one. Game two, I Thought Not Seer on 2. I get lucky and hit the second double land. So I had Ugin's Labyrinth with Devour under it, and I draw the Eldrazi Temple. Slam, Thought Not Seer. I see that he has Solitude, Counterspell, and I think lands. And I'm like, okay, I'll just take your Solitude. So, because like if I don't take that and you draw a white card, it's brutal. So I'm battling, getting in, and then I'm going to go cast a Complex Command when he has 2 mana up. Or no, he fetches. I'm sorry, he fetches, and so he has 1 land in play. I said, okay, response. I'm gonna play this Complex Command. I think for like 3 or something like that, and X equals 3 or X. Yeah, I think X equals 3 or something like that. And he goes Consign. I'm like, dang it. Okay, cool, whatever. So then he gets to 4 mana. As I said, I'm attacking every turn, and he goes and he has colorless land. I think it's like the Grier Sanctum thing, whatever that card is, and a blue land. Like, okay, he can't have counterspell up here. Cast my Cossack's command. He goes consign with kicker. I'm like, dang it. So like I said, it was brutal. I got 2 out there, got crushed. Just like Days Undueling 2 with Narset in play, absolutely brutal. So then we're in. This is a Modern Plus, so you're playing for more tickets. And so I go against Blue Red Wizards, and dude has Blood Moon on turn 3, game 1. And I could, basically, I could play hard cast my stuff at times, but he just played 2 Mercs that were, I think, 6/6s, and then played a Snapcaster to flash back his Flame of Anar to get them 7/7s to kill me, to do exactly 14. Game 2, I got consigned. I'm pretty sure I got Blood Mooned, and I got Charmant twice. So when it was coming down to what decks I wanted to pick and play, that was just the worst vibes possible, because this deck really does crush a lot of the fair aggro decks, but I didn't see any, and it just felt so bad if everybody was prepared for this deck, even game 1. So when I went back, I was like, when I went to dinner that night, I was like, I'm not sure what I want to play. I'm not sure what I want to do. That didn't feel great. I was like, you know what? I'll just go with 4-color mid-range because I have control and agency over my matches, right? So with that being said, I went to the Modern 5K and I registered this deck. Like I said, I changed the stone rate to a dampening sphere. This has already been changed. Everything else I kind of liked. So we went to the 5K, and our first round at 454, as you can see, was technically against Demir, which I guess was just a Demir Murktide list, right? Yeah, but our opponent never showed up. So a lot of people were kind of struggling to find where they were sitting at, so they kind of gave them a little grace period and stuff like that. And I kind of knew my opponent was going to show up just because people kept walking, but they weren't looking at my table. So yeah, my opponent never showed up. I guess he saw my name and got intimidated. Nah, but that would have been a very interesting matchup. It could have went either way. This match was very, very close, and it comes down to 1 or 2 plays for sure. So we take those, right? We take those. So we go to round 2. Round 2 was against Lance Schultz, who was on red black hollow in, or hollow in. They didn't have no vine, so hollow in. The typical with the Mako, Nethergoyf, the 2, what was it, the Goblin Lore and the Burning Inquiries and Faithless Lootings and stuff like that, and Phoenixes, right? As you can see, I think they'll actually pull the list. Yeah, so you can kind of see the list right there. 2 Tarfire, I didn't know he had 2 of them. So yeah, we sit down. I have no idea what he's playing. Cool dude or whatever. I don't necessarily remember game 1 as much, but I know that I basically killed all his threats. I had the removal for the DRC. I had the removal for the Nethergoyfs and stuff like that. And then when they were trying to Goblin Lore or get something going with Goblin Lore's Burning Inquiries, I just countered them and just beat in with my threats with Frog and Murktide. Game 2 on the draw, I was going to play that game. Game 2 on the draw, so they play an early Nethergoyf, and I believe I think they resolved Burning or Goblin Lore twice on me, and out of nowhere, Nethergoyf is a 6-power creature. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because he counted. I was like, once that resolved and he was ready to attack with, I knew he was going to attack with his creature the next turn. I was like, okay, how big is he before we even got to attacks? And then I thought he counted out 5. Now, maybe I misheard him. I'm not saying he tried to cheat me or anything like that. Maybe I just misheard him, but I thought he said it was a 5/6. And I had a Bowmasters in hand with Galvanic Discharge, and I think, so I was gonna I was thinking about maybe I discharge this, or ping it with Bowmasters, discharge it, and then block. And then that would be 6 and I would be able to trade, but I was a little worried about him blowing me out with a lightning bolt or something like that. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm at 15. And I have a little notes here, so I'm looking down. I'm at 15. I can take 5, go to 10, cast my Bowmasters, and I'll be able to chump and all that stuff like that, and be able to kind of get my game going. Because like if I can hit a frog and I can kind of get like basically get later on in the game, I'll be able to win because my card quality is much better. He attacks us here. I think about my what I'm gonna do. I was like, you know what? Okay, no blocks. I go to 10, and he wrote down 9. I'm like 9, and he was like, yeah, it's 6, and I was like, what do you mean? So we counted again. I'm like, oh yeah, it is 6, and he was like, oh, does that change things? I'm like, well, we're in competitive REL. I already said the attack goes through. No big deal. I'll go to 9. I eventually draw a Sink and a Stupor after like chumping and stuff like that. And my idea is like, okay, I don't have any removal spells to kill this thing, and I have to deal with this thing. So I can bounce this when he goes to combat next turn. He'll untap, he'll play it, I'll counter, and I have like 3 counter spells in him. So it's like, okay, I'll bounce it, untap, play frog, hold up counter spell, counter that spell, and then untap, and then I have 2 counter spells up for the rest of the game with frog, which is like stupid, right? He does what I thought he was going to do. He played Nethergoyf, and I was like, okay. Then because like he only had 3 mana at the time. Played Nethergoyf. I'm like, okay, cool. 2 mana, nothing big is going to happen. He plays a Blood Crypt untapped. And I was like, okay. And he goes Blood Moon. So now I can't counter this. I have all my duels. Like I said, I only have 1 basic. I have just all dual lands. So basically, I have nothing but mountains. And I'm like, oh, got caught. That was a good setup by him. I should just not even worried about the stupid Nethergoyf, right? But we're here now. So, I was able to kill the Nethergoyf somehow. I don't even know how I was able to kill it. I don't remember that part. But I was able to kill the Nethergoyf. And then I'm just getting in with Frog. Getting in. He was at 16, and then I got him down to 12. And I was like pitching cards aggressively to get him. And it was basically my card was a 6/7. 6/7 Psychic Frog. And then the game just went on for like 10 more turns because essentially my opponent was just playing creatures, whether it be a Mako or whatever, and then putting Phoenixes on them, right? And I have no way to kill the Phoenix because I think I only have 1 discharge left in my deck, and I can't cast Fatal Push. I think I was even drawing Fatal Push. So they kind of last a long time, and then they're looting and flashbacking looting and just trying to find ways, and they're just on chump duty. And I'm just hoping that they don't draw like some kind of thing where they can go Hollow One, bestow, kill me out of nowhere, right? But I got to keep attacking to make them block. So then it gets to the point where they have 2 Phoenixes, and they're able to put one on the top of the other, right? So they can block and have a flying blocker. They slam a Hollow One at one point, and they have Hollow One Phoenix in play. I draw my card for the turn. It is a Nihil Spellbound. I'm like, oh, thank God. But I have to get him to block with the flyer and then fade a draw step, I guess. I don't know if they could have killed me. I was at 9, so I'm not sure if they could have killed me. But I jump my frog. I attack. They block like I thought they were going to do. Post-combat, slam the Nihil Spellbound, blow up the graveyard. They draw a bad card for turn. Game over. Win that one somehow through Blood Moon on a draw. Awesome. We're 2-0 right now. Feeling great. Feeling pretty good. Next round, playing against Diesel, who was an awesome guy. He plays Vintage. He actually finished 11th in the event. Yeah, finished 11th. He was on Boros Energy. So it only went 2 games. On the first game, I was on the draw. And both of these games felt close, but it was just like I was getting 2 for 1 the whole time. I don't remember the whole game, but it was like play a creature, I kill it. Play a creature like a Johnny or whatever. Keep the creature, I kill the Johnny. Like it was stuff like that. But then he did play a Flage that I let resolve, even though I had counterspell in hand, because my plan was to counter after he got rid of his whole graveyard to not unearth it, but whatever it's called, to essentially unearth it or whatever. But there was a time where he had like 2 cards in hand. He plays Fable the Mirror Breaker, and I have my last Frog in hand, and I think I had like Frog, Force, a Negation, and I think maybe 1 or 2 more cards, but no threats. And I forced it because I just didn't want him to have the Fable, which I think was right. Oh yeah, I had counter spell in my hand, and I think that was it. I think I only had maybe that one card. Maybe I had another card that, but it wasn't nothing like great. And yeah, I just proceeded not to draw any more threats, and they eventually got a board because they kept casting like little spells here and there and attacking and chipping in. And eventually he got to the point where, oh yeah, I'm just gonna exert this flage, and he had like 10 or 12 cards in his graveyard, so he could do it twice, not in back-to-back turns, but this turn and then 2 turns later again. And yeah, that was just enough to beat me. It's tough, but I felt like maybe I was just a card or two short in that match or that game. Game two on the play, I mulled to five. My 7 card hand was just so much removed, but I had the one of breeding or yeah the out of 2 green lands I had one of them in my hand, breeding pool, with no cantrips. If I have a black land or a red land, I probably just keep it and hoping I draw. The rest was for Clasm. I think I would have won that game on 7, but on 5 our hand was good. We had 2 lands. I think like Fatal Push, Pyroclasm, um, something like that. I forget, but the thing was we had basic island and then fetch land. So I had to choose whether I wanted to get black or red. Oh yeah, we had Bowmasters and Frog, and I think I put Frog or Bowmasters down on the bottom and kept Frog. 2 lands, Pyroclasm, removal spell or something like that. We fought tough. It's just again they just played too many like dorky creatures that you have to kill. We did Clasm and everything, but this wasn't enough. We didn't have enough pressure. I think they also chained the rocks. Yeah, they chained the rocks. I'm sure was he playing chain the rocks? Yes, he was. He was playing chain the rocks. And I think he chained the rocks by Frog or whatever, which was brutal. And that was tough. He wound up going 7-1-1, drawing in the last round, but he kind of drew himself out of the top 8. Maybe he didn't want to play when he wanted to go home. But Diesel was a really cool guy. I forget his real name. He plays vintage and doesn't play Legacy much anymore, but plays vintage. Awesome guy. He just picked up his Mox Emerald that weekend, so really, really cool guy. And that energy matchup felt so close. And as you can see here, man, we have so much removal for this deck. 3 Pyroclasms and a Engineered Explosive, along with the whole bunch of resources we have main deck. So that's a little tough, a little frustrating, but it is what it is. I'm 2-1 on round 4. Round 4, as you can see, Boros Energy against Selvi. She was very nice, and the chatting was cool, very very sweet. Or I should say they. I'm sorry, I don't want to disrespect Selvi. Again, a good banter back and forth, but we got destroyed. None of these games felt close. None of these games felt close at all. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to talk about. I didn't really draw any of my sweepers. I looked for sweepers the whole game too. Never drew them. Both games on the play too. I just like looking at the life totals right now. Yeah, I just didn't do enough. I think most of the damage that she took was from her fetching, or them. I'm sorry, them fetching. So yeah, it was absolutely brutal. This one felt terrible. It really did. It didn't feel close at all. It's no like really no much notes about that. This didn't draw. I needed to draw. Didn't feel good. But again, this matchup is like when you're killing one thing, but they leave something behind. It's just tough to deal with. So I think this deck that I'm playing has legitimate legs. It's just we gotta figure out this Boros Energy matchup, right? But I digress. So round 5, we play against Boros Energy again. As you can see the score, this is my 3rd loss, and at this point we got a 7-hour drive home. I'm cool, but we'll talk about it. So Boros Energy again. Voice of Victory in Selby, they were running Voice of Victory as well. The card is solid, but it doesn't really matter. The main thing with Voice of Victory is it being a 3-power creature, so it doesn't get swept up by Pyroclasm. I won the die roll, and was on the play game 1, and I win this game mostly because they stumbled on lands, they struggled to kind of hit their lands, and I kind of able to just 1-for-1 them a lot, but there was a really cool play. So they play a Johnny. They have a Johnny and they have the cat token. And I have Fatal Push and Galvanic Discharge in play. I think I have those in play because I just Rashacha's Bargain, which we'll talk about Rashacha's Bargain in a minute. I get both both removal spells. I can kill both things. Just keep the board clean, right? So I go to my turn, And I think that, I don't know how he didn't see it, but I was thinking about discharging the Ajani first and then fatal pushing the creature. And I was like, nah, I shouldn't do that. I think I should fatal push it. I don't know what made me think that, but I was like, I need to play around something. Like something is, I don't know, something's up. And so I go to fatal push the Ajani, and then they cast Galvanic Discharge targeting their cat token. And at first I thought, okay, I can just discharge the Ajani. So then that stops that. But then I was like, hold on. It's my turn. They can't activate it. It has 3 loyalty. You know, I could just let them do that. Because I was going to use both removal spells anyway. But now I can just kill the Ajani when it transforms. So that, I thought that was a really cool play that just kind of came up. Like, you know, them trying to sneak the get rid of the removal spell, but then me keeping the Galvanic Discharge to be able to kill that Planeswalker once it transformed. I thought that was cool because it was still basically, well, I guess it was a 3 for 2 because they used their own removal spell and killed their own thing. And yes, I used 2 cards, but yes, like 3 cards, they lost 3 cards. So I think that was really good on my side. Game 2, geez, I don't know what happened. I just got beat down, I guess. They were at 20. I know they played Flage at one point. But yeah, again, this, I don't know if we drew our Clasm or not. That game, we might have, but it just didn't matter. Game 3, we just kind of never saw Clasm. We got to a point where they had Voice of Victory in play, and I played Tamio, got Tamio to transform basically in the same turn, after they passed the turn. But they had City's Blessing, they had Ocelot Pride, they had Guide of Souls. They, like I said, they had Voice of Victory, and they were just making all these tokens. And apparently, the way Voice of Victory and Tamio interact is that my Tamio trigger goes first, and then the Voice of Victory trigger. So like the 1/1s don't get affected by Tamio, so they're able to hit. And yeah, I just tried to find, I jumped frog twice to try to find an EE or Power Class or something, but it didn't really matter because I couldn't kill the Voice of Victory, and I think they also had like Flage or something. I don't know. It was a lot to deal with, and I just didn't draw well. And that was my 3rd loss. 3 energy in a row is tough. It's a little frustrating. How did Quentin end up doing? 5 and 3. Oh, so they played 8 rounds. They actually beat this Brian guy. Okay. But it was just tough. And so we'll go back to the deck list. I don't think this deck is bad. Losing the energy 3 times is rough, and it kind of makes it like, oh, maybe this deck's not playable. But they didn't really feel like the games were close. Outside of Selby, who just crushed me, the games felt pretty close. And it's like I was a card away or so. I know I was talking about to one of my friends, Patrick, who said maybe we don't even need Dismember no more because the Ketramos decks are kind of down in number, even though I believe there was like 2 Ketramos decks that were in the top 20. So that's something to look at. And then I don't know if we need this Edict effect. It doesn't seem really good right now. This could be another EE or Pyroclasm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not terribly sure. It just feels like that matchup should not be that bad. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. You just need so many removal spells. The way I was sideboarding was I was basically cutting counter spells and for the removal spells and the graveyard hate. But maybe we need another EE so we see it. I don't know. But like Pyroclasm hits more cards generally speaking. Also, this could be a Galvanic Discharge. Or maybe a Shoot the Sheriff or something. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. I'm really not. But the deck felt great. It's just, I wish I would have played against more combo or blue decks. I don't know. It was tough. It was definitely tough. But a good learning experience and get ready for the Spotlight Series and the RCQ season as well. So changes I would make, it was the ones I just kind of announced, and hopefully I can bounce back and do much better with this deck. I think this deck is good. We just got to figure out the energy matchup. So with all that being said, I'm kind of done with this review. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, what should I change, if anything, in the 75? If you have any suggestions, like they're definitely welcomed. Again, the deck performs very well, and we were hitting our mana pretty consistently, so that was really, really good. We didn't die to our mana, like not hitting our lands. So I think the quote unquote 20 lands, the 20 lands is really, really good. Like the 20 lands. And yeah, I just think the deck's very powerful. I think it's very good. We just have to figure out these aggro matchups. And maybe it's a second EE, maybe it's a Clasm. I don't want to, like, Brothers to the End is interesting. I just don't know if I want to go that far because it's 3 mana. I want them to be 2 mana sweepers. Yeah, I'm not sure about that exactly. Maybe it's a second EE so that we can get rid of other things too. Yeah, I'm not totally sure on that. But with that being said, thanks for joining me, guys. I really do appreciate it. Videos will be coming out soon. They'll probably be pushed back a day or two just because I got to get settled back in home and get everything figured out. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. So remember, like always, sling spells and bring dreams. I'll catch you in the next video. Check you later.